Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Drama in the National Assembly as President Buhari presents 2019 appropriation bill before a joint session of the Senate and House of Representatives amidst cheers from the lawmakers. All Progressives Congress National Working Committee dissolves party's executive in Imo and Ogun states. Leadership of the APC in affected states kick against decision. Residents count losses as fire wreaks havoc in Lagos as State Police Command uncovers fake wine brewery in another community. And European Commission reveals damage control measures in case of no Brexit deal. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. That was the drama that played out today at the National Assembly as the President was presenting the 2019 appropriation bill before a joint session. Lots of heckling there from many of the distinguished lawmakers, making it rather difficult for the President to continue. Well, he admonished them and eventually laid the budget. And that's a look at how it all went and played out at the National Assembly today. You see some of the lawmakers there making it difficult for the President to continue, booing, jeering, and getting out of their seats. The Chief Whip did have a difficult time trying to control the lawmakers, and the gavel seemed to be totally ignored today as the chanting continued. But we hear the President did continue and eventually did lay that budget, and that is how it all played out on the floor of the National Assembly today. The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has dissolved the executives of the party in Imo and Ogun states. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Issa Onilu, revealed the decision of the NWC to Channels Television, saying it stemmed from the report of the reconciliation committees set up by the party to resolve the crisis in several states after the primaries. Mr. Onilu said the party had discovered that its structures have been compromised in these states and they have been used to campaign for other parties ahead of the 2019 general elections. The party is, however, yet to decide whether it will punish any member or leader in Imo and Ogun states found culpable of working against the interests of the party as a result of the grievances from the results and outcomes of the party's primaries. Meanwhile, the leadership of the APC in Imo and Ogun State are already reacting to the dissolution order by the NWC. The Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, is asking the NWC to rescind the decision because of a court injunction restraining the NWC from suspending, dissolving or tampering with the existing structure of the APC in Imo State. He says President Muhammadu Buhari will win the 2019 general election but cannot guarantee the success of the APC governorship candidate in Imo State. And while the Ogun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has dismissed the dissolution order, describing it as an exercise in futility, the former chairman of the party who held sway before the dissolution, Chief Denri Adebi, says the state chapter of the party remains in office and is carrying out its legal duties in line with the constitution of the APC. He describes the NWC's action as prejudicial and a brazen disregard for the judiciary and the Nigerian constitution.
Basically, what they purported to have done is an illegality and is of no consequence. There's no basis for it and it's purely an exercise in futility. It is unfortunate that the national chairman has decided to engage in self-help using the name of the National Work Committee to cover his misdeeds. So I want to assure you that the so-called solution can never stand, and it will not stand. It will remain the executive of the party in Ogun State.
Meanwhile, the APC National Working Committee has inaugurated a caretaker executive committee for the party's state chapter in Imo State. The caretaker committee is chaired by Prince M.O. Lebole, while the party says it will flag off the campaign of its governorship candidate, Senator Hope Uzodimma, on Friday. And Ilori High Court has nullified the primary elections conducted by the Bashir Bolaniwa faction of the All Progressives Congress in Kwara State. The court also declared the faction as illegal and of no consequence, and in the eyes of the law cannot legally conduct valid elections. In a judgment delivered by Justice Tawhid Umar, the court affirmed the Ishola Balogun Fulani-led executive committee as duly elected. The court maintained that the Kwara APC cannot nominate any other candidates to the INEC other than the ones so nominated by Ishola Balogun Fulani Executive Committee.
What actually transpired is that the court has held that the purported dissolution of the executive committee of APC, led by Balogun Fulani, is illegal, null and void. And the court, as of today, still recognize the executive led by Balogun Fulani as the authentic executive committee of Kwara State APC chapter. So, therefore, the court also further held that the INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, should recognize the list presented by the Kwara State Executive Committee led by Balogun Fulani. That's just the gist.
Judgment as it was delivered by my lord today, we expected it. So, and we have prepared adequately for today. In fact, as I'm talking to you, we have prepared our notice of appeal because it is not going to end here. So we are still going to the upstairs.
Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Linda Akigwe. Linda?
Hello, Ijoma. Now, staying with politics, the lawmaker representing Ogun East Senatorial District in the National Assembly, Senator Buruji Kashamu, has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court challenging the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Ibadan, which sets aside the order recognizing him and his loyalists as PDP candidates in Ogun State. The lawmaker is asking the Apex Court to set aside the ruling of the Appeal Court, which set aside the order granted by a Federal High Court in Abeokuta directing the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to accept and process the list of Ogun PDP candidates submitted to it by the Chief Adebayo Dayo-led faction of the party for the 2019 elections. Mr. Kashamu's lawyer describes the court ruling as a nullity and a miscarriage of justice because PDP and other defendants were not served the court processes culminating in the orders. The PDP in Ogun State has been locked in a crisis between the two governorship candidates, Buruji Kashamu and Ladi Adebutu. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has promised to do whatever is legally possible to promote business in the country if elected president. He said this while interacting with members of the business and manufacturing sector in Abia State as part of his presidential campaign across the country. The candidate also met with other groups and associations in the state. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi has this report.
The hall is filled to capacity. It's a meeting between members of the business and manufacturing sector in Abia State and the presidential team of the People's Democratic Party. The state governor welcomes the campaign team to the city.
After this discussion today, I will expect our presidential candidate to go back to his war room and look at some of his thoughts about our people. Align it with what he is feeling by interacting with you one-on-one. Align it with your sentiment as the president today, so that he will give us a tailor-made solution to our numerous problems.
The national chairman of the party and the vice presidential candidate are next to speak to the crowd.
By the grace of God, we have a golden candidate that has been tested. A man that will take responsibilities. Because currently you are aware that President Buhari does not take responsibilities at all. He is not aware that our people are poor. Is he aware? No. Abba can change Nigeria. What has changed society everywhere in the world is two things: expertise and entrepreneurship. And if you want to see the entrepreneurship,
representatives of the business community highlight some of the challenges they face in the sector.
Inadequacy power supply is the bane of industrial and business growth here. 2. Solving geometric power Kwara. 3. Seaports.
The PDP presidential candidate assures the crowd that as a businessman himself, he identifies with the challenges they're faced with.
Whatever can promote business, I will do it as long as it is within the confines of our laws. This is a commitment I'm giving you. Not because I am also a businessman, but because I want to see prosperity, job creation in my country.
The team also meets with support groups and other party faithful in the state. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
When the News at 10 returns, Nigeria's unemployment rate jumps to 23.1% in the third quarter of 2018, up from the previous 18.8% reported in 2017. That's in business news. Join us again.